I think. It's a bit nostalgic as well. I'm having a really good time with this car actually, because... Hello and welcome back to Assetto Hub. What is your reason for driving a simulation? What is your favorite setting, your favorite car? What do you enjoy the most? Well, this is one of my reasons. There are a lot of supercars or hypercars we would like to experience. We received a lot of great, very rare, limited edition cars. Cars that are museum pieces or tucked down in somebody's car collection in real life. This is one of those cars. A car that you might not have thought of. A car that is extremely limited, pretty expensive, and based off a F-22 fighter jet. This is the 2008 Lamborghini Reventon. One of the most expensive Lamborghinis ever to be released. And maybe one of the most controversial limited cars that Lamborghini released as well. So here we have it, the 2008 Lamborghini Reventon, and this is truly a masterpiece. For me, it's a bit nostalgic as well, as I drove this car quite a few years ago in Forza Motorsport 4, so that's already quite a few years ago, and now we got it in Assetto Corsa as well, and I'm really happy about it, as this is such a special, amazing car. I would say not everybody's favorite, of course, as some might complain that it's basically a Lamborghini Murcielago LP640, as where the car is based from. The transmission, the engine, basically everything, well, almost everything is the same as the Lamborghini Murcielago LP640, but when you look at it, it's completely different, of course. The styling, the exterior and interior is completely different than the Murcielago LP640. And one fun fact, the Aventador is based from the Reventon as well. The styling from the Aventador is based off this car, which makes it even more special when you would think that the future Lamborghinis were based off this car. The name Reventon is, of course, a bull's name in honor to all the Lamborghinis, because all of them are based off bulls' names. Famous bulls, of course, that were fighting in Italy. The Reventon means outburst as well, which makes it pretty special, as it is it's a bull, but the Reventon in Spanish means outburst as well. There's a few meanings when I looked it up on Google, but one of them is outburst, which is pretty cool, I have to say. Then to just jump real quick into the statistic, this car has a 6.5 liter naturally aspirated V12 with an E-automatic gearbox, 6-speed E-gear automatic, yes. Car goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.4 seconds and has a top speed of 340 kilometers per hour, which is insanely quick, of course, but it is the same as the Lamborghini Murcielago LP640 then again. Now let's talk a bit more about the mod itself. The mod is made by Buja Gili. You might know him from some other cars. He works a lot with MNBA, a lot of collaborations with them. You might have seen my review on the Ferrari Roma, which was a beautiful car as well. He did, for example, the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series. That was one of his personal projects. It's on his website as well, Gumroad. I will link that down in the description. And now this is one of his new cars. This is a really nicely done car. The exterior is beautiful. You have the extra options. You can open the wings, or the bat wings, I think they call them in real life, on the outside, which is beautiful. You can raise the car a little bit. The light indicators are working, all the instruments inside are working, for example the entertainment system in the middle, of course, which we see in most cars or in most mods nowadays anyway. But the number one thing is, of course, and we've talked a little bit about it, the cluster in the center. The cluster is absolutely gorgeous, and it's probably the most known thing about this car. You might know that it is based off a F-22 fighter jet, and you see it a lot of the outside, the squareness, all the aggressiveness of the car, but you see it inside the car as well. The cluster, we have the base cluster, which you would have when you will drive the car normally, with a normal rev counter or slightly normal speedometer. And then when you press option A in the car, you get the, I would call it the fighter jet option, which is absolutely fantastic. It's exactly like in real life, and I cannot imagine how much work this was to do. Because on the left we have the rev counter with the revs. When you change gear, you see that it moves up and down, it flows smoothly into the next gear. And then on the right we have the speedometer, which moves as well with the speed which you're driving in the center in kilometers per hour, and on the right you have the miles per hour, and in the middle we have the G-force meter, of course, which works, of course, and it looks like a fighter jet as well, which finishes the car, and especially the inside, 100%. As it is only version 0.95, it is not the final version yet. As you might hear, the car doesn't sound as great as I would expect to, but I've spoke to Buja Gili and he's actually working on the sound to make it better. Now, driving wise, this car drives pretty well, I have to say. I've been driving this car for a few days and it is a really nice car to drive. It is four-wheel driven, of course, as well. All the Lamborghinis, of course, up till this day, because with the new ones, the STO and the new Huracans, of course you have the rear-wheel driven cars, but this one is still four-wheel drive. It drives how you would expect to, and even with the traction control off, it turns pretty well. Only one thing I've noticed: when you turn traction control off and you hit it in a corner, sometimes it just spins one wheel. It's really strange, but it just spins one wheel. Apart from that, I think it drives pretty great, and I think I'm having a really good time with this car, actually, because what I said in the start, one of the reasons why I enjoy this game so much and why I enjoy these modders so much, I appreciate them so much, is because these are the cars that, well, if you want to see this car, you will need to go to the Lamborghini Museum or be really lucky, because this is a really rare car. Only 21 units of the Coupe and 15 units of the Roadster. So you have to be pretty lucky to see this car, and drive, well, forget it, most likely. But this one, you get a small feeling of the car, and that's pretty cool, I have to say. There are many different type of cars that we can drive: drift cars, rally cars, supercars, hypercars, everything you can imagine and dream of. These limited cars that we most likely not even see in real life are the reason I love this game and why I love doing this. Although it is a game, you get a very small feeling of the car in real life. It makes the little boy in me very, very happy. Thank you for watching.